Hello and welcome to another episode of What's Inside. Today we are looking at the Army of Darkness board game. This was put out by Leading Edge Games, and this is number 60100. It says Army of Darkness board game at the top, even though it says it right here. And there, of course, we have the iconic Ash. Leading Edge Games put out a lot of licensed material. Not a whole lot, actually, but enough. They had Army of Darkness board game. They had a Bram Stoker's Dracula board game and the Dracula role-playing game. They had an Aliens game. They had Living Steel and one or two others I can't remember right now. But they were around for a very short time. But what they produced was actually kind of cool. I liked a lot of their games. They weren't the most complex, but they were definitely more fun than playing like Monopoly, which I loathe to no end. Now this one is of course not for anyone under 36 months. It's for 1 to 8 players ages 12 and up. Oh, lid's on upside down. Now as you can see, it uses images from the movie. Inside we have a 22 by 17 full color mounted map, a 12 full color character cards, 36 full color stand-up counters, 32 full color and equipment cards, and a rule book. Now the ISBN is down here, and the ISBN is 0945571-62-3. And this came out in 1993. So, this was actually a fun game. I had 2 copies of this one and a previous one. The previous one I sold, never having actually played it, and then I played it at my buddy's house and immediately regretted selling it. So we just played his copy. But this copy is also complete. Supposed to be anyway. There's a die, D10. There's some standees. These are the cheapos. They don't give you anything too spectacular here. Alright, so the first thing you're going to note is the rule book, the 8-page rule book. This is in very nice condition for its age. Hasn't yellowed. You gotta watch that because this does yellow fairly easy and the staples are starting to rust. Of course, after 20 some years, kind of expected. Now, you'll note there's no pictures on here. It is all text. So it is a fairly complex game. There are variations for 5-6 players on up. So, pretty simplistic design here, which is a little disappointing for a lot of people, don't get me wrong. They get real upset about not having color, but it depends on the game. If the game's fun, I don't care as much. If your game sucks, it better be pretty. Alright, so let's look at the cards here first. So we've got the Army of Darkness equipment cards. This is the back of the cards. Now we have the Flying Demon, Evil Ash, Evil Sheila, Deadite Captain. We have Exploding Arrows, Attack 4, all range attack, single use. And then we have Deadite characters, free move. And then we have a horse, actions +1, defense -1. Crossbow, 1 ranged attack per turn. Attack +1. And then we have another Exploding Arrows, attack 4. We have a Catapult, attack 6, all. Range attack, single use. Explosives attack 6, all single use. Shotgun, 1 range attack per turn, attack +2. Exploding Arrows, attack 4 again. Move any player or Deadite 1 square, single use. Arthur's Banner, defense 4. Explosives, attack 6, all single use. And then the other sheet, I think there's only 2 sheets. Yeah, there's only 32 cards. Pit closed. The pit starts the game closed and opens when the flying demon enters the square. Book of the Dead. The book starts in the game tower and remains there until Evil Ash enters the square. Gate closed. The gate opens if the 0 to 9 roll is less than or equal to the number of deadites on the wall squares. Knight, attack 5. Chainsaw, attack +2. Daring attack, attack +2. Defense -1. Men-at-Arms, attack 4. Knight, attack 5. Men-at-Arms, attack 6. Gasoline fire. No entry into square. Burns out on 0 to 1. Men-at-Arms, attack 4. Knight, attack 6. Henry's Banner, defense 4. Halberd Squad, can't read, attack 8. Men-at-Arms, attack 5. Knight, attack 7. So that's the other sheet of cards. Now these are very thin, and these are likely going to get damaged even just by taking them out of the perforation. My buddy's copy was all torn up because he got a little eager when he was taking them out of the trim. And you'll see how thin these are. It's just like basic cardstock. Very basic. That's just laminated. Yeah, see, these 3 cards is gate open. Once open, the gate cannot be closed, and 2 deadites charge through each turn. Book of the Dead. Once Evil Ash has the book, excuse me, he may move 1 square each turn regardless of mortals in his square. Pit open. While the pit is open, 3 deadites appear each turn. It can only be closed by killing the flying demon. So those cards actually have some difference, unlike these other ones, which are all equipment cards. And you can actually pull up your bad guys on the equipment cards. So yeah, getting these out was a little tough. There's no numbering on the cards either, so you don't know what's going to be missing until you look at it, which is one of the reasons to do the show. Alright, then on the the character cards, we have the Flying Demon, we have the Archer Captain, Evil Ash, Deadite Captain, Evil Sheila, the Deathmobile. So let's go through these one at a time. The Flying Demon, action number, it's got the action, the number, and the attack value. And that's the order I'm going to read them in. So, like, for example, the Flying Demon, action is attack, number 2, move of 1 on each turn, and defense of 6. The attack value for these, the attack would be, so I'd read it as attack 2, 5. Move 1, open pit. So instead of, while moving each turn, you can open the pit with that one. The Archer Captain is attack 3, 3, move 2, defense 5. Deadite Captain, attack 2, 5, move 1, destroy banners. Evil Ash, attack 3, attack value of 6, move 1, seeks the book, defense of 7. Evil Sheila, action attack values, let's see, the actions are attack 2, attack value 4, move is an asterisk, stays with Ash. So once she gets there, she stays there. Defense of 5, so then we go to the Deathmobile. Attacks 7 all, which means it hits everybody, I guess. Move 3, must make full move. And that's got a defense of 5. So and then these are just cutouts for general skeletons. And again, these are very thin cards, so getting these out could actually be very tough without ripping them. And on the back, all these guys have the wounded version of them. So it's a weakened version. So like the Archer Captain went from a 3-3 attack 3 attack value of 3. Now he's attack 3 with a value of 1 and a move of 1, defense of 4. The Flying Demon is attack 2, attack value of 4, move 1, defense 5, opens the pit. Evil Ash, actions are attack 3, attack value 5, move 1, seeks the book, defense of 4. Deadite Captain wounded, attacks 2, attack value 4, move 1, destroys banners, defensive 5. Evil Sheila, attacks 2, attack value of 3, move, stays with Ash. Defensive 4. The Deathmobile, damaged, attack 5. It's got an attack value of 5, move of 2, must make full move. Defensive 4. Alright, and then we've got the Wise Man, the Blacksmith, Goldtooth, Henry, Arthur, and Ash. And then we've got their standees, all the character standees here. There's the Deathmobile. All the good guys are up in red, and the bad guys are on a black background. And then we got some extra skeletons. So the Wise Man, attack 1, attack value of 4, move a 2, defense 4. The Blacksmith is attack 1, attack value 7, move 2, defense 5. Goldtooth is attack 1, attack value 4, move 2, defense 7. Henry is attack 1, attack value 5, move 2, defense 6. Ash is attack 2, attack value of 6, move 2, defense 7. Arthur is attack 1, attack value 5, move 2, defensive 6. And the wounded versions, we have Spinach Chin here, the Wise Man. It's attack 1, attack value 2, move 1, defense 3. The Blacksmith is attack 1, attack value 5, move 1, defense 4. Goldtooth is attack 1, attack value 2, move 1, defense 6. Wounded Henry is attack 1, attack value 3, move 1, defense 5. Arthur wounded is attack 1, attack value 3, move 1, defensive 5. Ash wounded is attack 2, attack value 4, move of 1, defensive 6. So that's all the characters. But yeah, here's all your standees. They look exactly the same on the back as they do on the front. So let's get these out of the way and look at the board. Alright, now these boards were really nicely made. I'll give them a lot of credit for that. It's just your standard 4-fold board. And the outline is the castle walls and little deadite skulls around the wall. You got the gate over here at the top of the map. And there's various little entrance ways or places where the zombies would enter. Had to move the secondary camera a little bit there, sorry. Now this is just a picture from the movie. They didn't want to spend a lot of money, I don't think. They already paid for the license, and the license for licensed games is just ridiculously expensive, and it usually kills the budget. So where they went cheap was to put the background image with just an outline of the walls. They didn't have to design interiors. It's just a grid pattern to create spaces where you move around. And they just wrote tower, wall, wall, and then the gates up here, and over here they have the pit. So yeah, they actually did a pretty good job with trying to make it work with a minimal budget. It probably cost them a lot of money to get the license. I'm pretty certain it did. It usually costs really more than it's worth to do if you're a small company like Leading Edge was. So over here we have the equipment card area where the deck would go and the discards. And it's also got a sequence of play, and I'll read that to you real quick. Sequence of play is gate and gasoline, deadites move, deadites appear 1 per wall, 2 at gate if open, 3 at pit if open. And they'd show up at these little skull areas usually, I think, as I recall. The mortal soldiers attack, mortal heroes move, attack, and play cards, then the deadites attack. So it's a pretty basic game, really, when it comes down to it. There's a lot more rules and a little bit more that goes into it, but overall, the general idea was to recreate the battle that you see in the film. But the board is really well done. It's mounted nicely on there. The quality of the board is really good. It's very thick. They didn't cheap out on here. Plus, underneath Here, I don't know how well that's going to show up with the lighting, but this is reinforced binding. There's a piece of paper underneath this that is reattached onto here to help secure it more. And since this copy was never used, it's in very nice shape. But that helps keep the board in really good condition. The only complaint I really have is the cards are really cheap. Really cheap. You had to be real careful popping these out because they'd get ripped. Like I said, my buddy's copy was all torn up because of that. The rule book, yeah, it's there's no color. It's just thick, like resume type paper, low end resume paper. So it's nothing special. These are crap. They're functional though, so they're functional crap. But overall, if you really wanted to play Army of Darkness as a board game in the early 90s, this was your best bet. And this was not a cheap game. It was about $50 when it came out. And it was incredibly hard to find. I had to go to, I think it was 6 or 7 stores just to get them to order me one. And I had to pay for it up front. And I even got sent on some wild goose chases. The store that I went to originally told me they had it over the phone. We get up there and they don't have it. So I had to drive 45 minutes to get to a comic shop that didn't even have it. And that shop's gone now, so screw them. But overall, this was a fun game. It's pretty simplistic by today's standards. I mean, Zombicide is way more in-depth oriented than this is. But for its time, this was a fun game, and it was very hard to find, and still is not easy or cheap to find. I've seen these go for upwards of $100 and more occasionally, and they'll usually be punched out, and you'll want to get real good pictures of the condition of the cards and make sure they're all there. But that's what the show's for, is to try and help you do that and give you kind of an idea of what you can expect from the game and my initial impressions usually. But this is a vintage copy of Army of Darkness from Leading Edge Games from 1993, 1 to 8 players. It's kind of cool, you can play it solo. But that'll do it for this episode. As always, thank you so much for watching and supporting the channel. And I hope that you'll join us again in the next episode of What's Inside.